up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4". Yeah, the life I live, I was meant for. It's simple, if we up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4".
Old school, new school. You know what it is. You know who it is.
OG Lee in the house. Once again. Thank goodness. Hey,
it's old school, new school.
back
UDE.
again.
OG Lee, best father-son podcast in America, man.
Man, you know they got that one in Antarctica. We haven't checked them out yet.
You told me that, man. They got to show their face, too, like we said, but...
It's kind of cold over there right now or something like that. They living underground.
I feel like always, right? What's like the warm season in Antarctica, like 40s?
I don't know one nigga that went to Antarctica, man. They came back and talked some shit about it.
How do you know?
And I'm surprised about that because niggas go everywhere. White folks too, but I ain't really heard no white folks say we vacation in Antarctica this year.
No, I was about to say in Alaska City. I really don't know anything about Antarctica.
I don't know shit about Alaska.
I was about to say Anchorage. I know that.
You know, it's the capital or something like that.
I
don't even think Anchorage is the capital of Alaska.
I saw something where
Juneau. I remember that shit from back in the day. Juneau.
But Anchorage is like an Alaskan hood. I saw like one of those.
So niggas in Alaska, all outside smoking blunts, trees and shit like that.
Yeah, no shivering, you know. Bubbled up, kind of like almost like a New York scene type, but you know, Alaskan. But hey, it is quantity.
41, 41.
And you know, we gotta ask the mental tip, the mental health. How you feeling?
Man, I'm cool tonight, man. Cool today. Everything went good today. Mm-hmm. And like I tell everybody, to start your day, man, and I bet you most people don't do it. Make your darn bed. Mm-hmm. Make your bed, man. That right there helps you mentally with a small accomplishment.
Get the day started
and
right.
You go from there. You keep accomplishing from there. And then it just, to me, man, when I'm getting in my bed at night, I like it to be fresh. Yeah. When you haven't made your bed, it looks all stinky and shit like that from the night you got out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it just doesn't look like, oh, I'm tired. I just want to, get in my nice, clean, well-made bed. As opposed to this shit that just got the sheets, the covers all balled up. It's like, damn, it just looked like somebody just got out of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's me.
But anyway, I know most people are not going to do that because they're lazy. But that's good that people are lazy.
Good in what way?
Well, the more people that are lazy, if you a go-getter, you stay ahead of them. Yeah.
No competition.
None whatsoever. Because certain things people are just not going to do. And most people are going to procrastinate what they do have to do until the very last moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
I procrastinate up, but the very last moment is a little crazy.
Well, you may not be on that tier. You just procrastinated one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not.
Once you get up to like the third or fourth stage, and it's serious.
Level, yeah. You know that pressure cooker at the buzzer. That's a little.
They ask you that on the job interviews a lot of times. How do you handle deadlines and shit? Mm-hmm. A lot of people be like, "Oh yeah, I have no problem with that."
I get it out the way.
How do you ever answer that question?
About how
do you handle deadlines?
I think as I said maybe in a previous episode, but for me, if it's a personal deadline, I'm a little more lenient. So those are the ones. But like a deadline.
If it's for the white folks, then you put more emphasis on it.
Or when somebody else is involved.
Oh, okay. Like, you don't even got to be white folks at the job. Shit.
Yeah. Or anybody.
But if it's them though, they crack the whip. Get right to it. Everybody got to do that though, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. But
I never worked for black people before, like a black company. Have you? No. I just never have.
This is
I didn't know one to really
America. We in the good old down here. I know you've been in New York, other places like that, but kind of same aspect.
I never really did no work in New York other than like little bullshit jobs, city jobs, summer job type shit. Because I left New York 17, went into the military. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To the white man.
I would have I don't know what I would have did in New York, man. I really don't. That's what made me, join the military.
If you had to,
nobody was going to college really that I knew. Not that I had to follow that, but I'm just saying it just like wasn't a natural transition for anybody that I saw for me to even follow if I wanted to.
It is crazy to think about.
And then at that time, academically, I probably was ready, but then again, I don't know because I started sloughing off in like my second year of high school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just not even paying attention anymore.
Threw in the towel.
I didn't throw in the towel because I knew I was going to have a lifelong learning, challenge in front of me. Uh-huh. But I just wasn't hitting it hard like I was, in the like freshman year and sophomore year.
I think that's kind of per usual.
I think I started sloughing off at freshman year. Go ahead.
I said I feel like that's kind of per usual in the kind of education system. If you were not really locked in, even once you get to college, like it's like that freshman year, it's like you might still, and then sophomore is really when it starts breaking. Mm-hmm. People go or they stay type of deal, truthfully, especially once it gets to college.
And that's such a waste to go to college and drop out and shit, man.
It happens.
It really is because you like, and some people even drop out like third year. I'm like, wow, you got college behind you. You know what I'm saying? You might as well finish it up because you're gonna come out and like most jobs, you don't get something better because you got 3 years of college. Sometimes you do, but sometimes it's like, okay, you just like a high school graduate.
Especially now, you gotta get a little extra education in that if you're going for that.
I tell you what, the best thing to do on a job interview, if you get it or not, is to tell the truth, man. Tell the truth. I mean, unless it's something like a conviction or something like that. But I'm talking about tell as far as your personality and your work habits and shit. Always lie about, if you've been to prison. And then, of course, no, seriously, don't lie about prison either. Because nowadays, people are accepting, prisoners. People are, that's one thing since COVID. People are dealing with people more on their merits. I've seen that more and more. Employers realizing they've been fools trying to get certain people when they need to get whoever's qualified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which do you know what that kind of makes me think about right there?
America.
Ironically enough, I was about to ask, did you watch the vice presidential debate by chance?
You know what, man? I even recorded the shit and I still didn't get a chance to
still didn't watch it?
I can't get by that guy, man. There's a guy, if you could pull him up, man, if you're able, named Don Rickles. He's an old comedian from back in the day. I can't get by this guy Walls looking like him to me. And every time I look at him, I expect him like Don Rickles always was fucking cracking jokes. And I just can't get by him with that. And I can't get by some of these guys who are really representing their states, like, because some of their politics is wild. And you don't hear about it till they get on this national stage. Because this guy Walsh, he lied about Vietnam and shit like that, he lied about China, shit like that. He was saying he was at Tiananmen Square if you know about Tiananmen Square.
It never was.
It was a big, Tiananmen Square? Chinese protest that killed all them people. But he said he was there. And no, not Vietnam. He's not old enough for that. It was something. It was either Iraq War. He claimed that he was there and that somehow he wasn't. And so just weird politics going on. The one other guy.
It was an interesting debate for sure.
You saw it?
I didn't watch it in entirety, but I definitely kind of watched parts of it when I was.
So what do you think about JD?
He seems like, a Republican candidate type of deal, and say what he wants type of deal. With the part I was watching, he was definitely kind of just like taking the floor, kind of saying what he wanted to say, and then
was what he was saying in line making any sense?
In some, like I said, I went into it blind. I didn't know truthfully either of them. But the JD guy, he was really like, it would be a question asked, and then he would like at one point he gave his background like. I know you don't know.
Now he started that. I mean, as a matter of fact, I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But when the part I did watch was where he started out, and I thought that was good, laying out his background because he said most of y'all don't know about none of us. If I was the other guy, I would have been like, "Hey, don't talk for me. Speak about for you." But anyway, it's true when the fact that nobody really knew about either one of them, and he laid it out, and I don't know. It's tough, man. Harris, who the hell is her guy again now?
Waltz.
Harris Waltz, and then Trump and JD. What's JD's last name?
Vance.
JD Vance. Is it Vance?
Mm-hmm.
Senator from Ohio. I know that because that's where they were talking about them eating the Springfield, Ohio, eating the animals. But yeah, so it's going to be kind of a tough thing when you look at the vice presidents. You know, it looks like it would be a neck and neck because you don't know either one of them. You don't know their politics. But Trump is going to, he's going to have to beat Kamala. And it's interesting, man, because the Trump camp, man, they've already set up shit to file suits in every state already contesting the election. Right? So that tells me that if he doesn't win,
just in case if they lose, like
they've already got all the motions in place. So, but that's a trip because
politics.
If Trump doesn't win, that suggests that there's going to be some kind of trouble because they're already saying, for the most part, that they don't trust the outcomes of the election already before it's even halfway done. Which they start this early voting, all of that stuff. I don't like all of that, man. I'm with the Republicans, all of these mail-in ballots and all. If you can't make it to the polls, that's it. You know what I'm saying? If you're elderly or whatever, they usually do that. Have someone come by with a van and all of this stuff and take you there, right? To me, you should have to, if they request you to show ID, you should have to show a valid ID, and you should have to be at the polls and vote. That's it. So you can be verified. If you can't make it, I get that. Just like maybe somebody who's out of the country and they can't, get to vote. Mm-hmm. Get all your credentials. And that's not asking much to say, hey, identify yourself and,
I'm about to say, even on the phone, you can do some easy identification.
Be present to be present to identify yourself and be able to show who you are. We do a lot of things, man, and if we really want them, like when you go in a liquor store, you never hear nobody arguing with the guy. Never, right? They know they want their liquor, their beer, their spirits, whatever, right? They show the ID if the guy asks for it and get their ass on out. But for some reason, when a cop pulls you over, you want to make a big deal. I don't get the shit. I don't get the shit, man. And I can see where some cops, just like your father, your uncle, you start getting smart. I can see him wanting to beat somebody's ass.
Quick slap.
Just give me your damn shit. You ain't got to go through my rights and all. Look, I'm going to tell you why I pulled you over, blah, blah, blah. But I want to know who you are. If you're driving legitimately, just show me your shit. Otherwise,
I know
take me
rights.
on a high-speed chase.
I know my rights.
My rights.
All my rights. Speaking of right.
And I hate people that don't know their rights, but they be copying some shit they seen on Facebook or some shit like
trying
that.
It out.
Yeah.
Missed a couple steps.
Before you know it, he's all hinched up in the back, getting his ass shoved in the car, hitting him with them billy clubs and shit. Dumb son of a bitch.
Oh, I was saying.
We got to talk about that, though, man.
Speaking of right, are you familiar with a Jaguar Wright?
Oh my goodness, Jaguar. She's more like a fucking tiger. Woo! But you know what I saw?
You are familiar?
Oh, very, very, very familiar. But you know what I saw today? Just before I came over here, I saw where she was being interviewed by Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah, stepped up to the big boy league.
Piers Morgan, see? So now all of this salacious bullshit gets put out to where the white people weren't watching too much. Especially the middle class,
the Caucasian crowd.
The younger ones might have been watching some shit on, Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But now, Piers Morgan's audience is a much wider audience. Mm-hmm. And she's saying
what's that gonna do? What you thinking?
She's saying some shit about. She's talked about everybody, man. Common,
I'm
calling Common by his first
Morgan.
name and shit like that.
His first name?
Yeah, when she's talking about him. It's out there on the record. I don't remember shit, that's but funny. She was saying, you such and such. She was talking about his little dick and all this type of shit.
Morgan?
No. Which I don't know about. I don't know what. I'm sure she wouldn't have said that, but I don't know what all she said. I just heard a little bit of it, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't watch the whole thing. But because I was surprised at first, because I'm used to hearing her on all of these other ones on the internet. Mm-hmm. But she Piers Morgan is actually
crafted the vernacular a bit too, but still kept her kind of
yeah. And she's not, she's always been relatively articulate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's like levels to it. She's intellectual type of deal. Switched it up for a different audience, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But
what did you have in mind about old Jaguar?
Just I was asking, man, what she's saying is, you were saying you're familiar with her. I've seen a couple interviews. I'm not necessarily familiar, but what
I seen
you
her on the
from like back in the day type of deal, or like.
I didn't remember her from back in the day.
Oh, okay.
She was one of them behind the scenes. But I did this when I found out about her about just 2 or 3 months ago. I actually went out there, to see her work, just to see some of her work as an entertainer, a musician. Mm-hmm. And she's a hell of a singer. I don't know about now, but the one I saw, she was doing something live, and I watched the whole thing. It was like a little bit over an hour. And I mean, she really, I swear, she didn't miss a note, man. Very, very good singer. Very good singer. I'm surprised that, with the way she was saying anyway, I'm surprised that she didn't, make it farther than she did on Puffy's and them platform, being down with them. So some of the shit, I guess she was saying,
Jaguar.
You don't do the right thing, you don't get, pushed through. Because she got skills, if she still got them, but she definitely had them. And I'm talking about live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Come out. Yeah. Go into her bag a little bit if she needs to.
That's what I wanted to do first, to say, what's she talking about? Who is she? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What would even have her in that circle?
What's your credentials?
You know what I'm saying? And then I looked and I said, oh, okay, I can see her being down. She could sing her ass off.
But, in the interview, I almost forgot this. The interview that I recently saw, that even was like, she said that she was a sex worker, knows, of course, other sex workers, and for like Diddy stuff is what she said. Was a dominatrix actually, and she they wore cameras. The sex workers wore cameras, and she's like, I have footage. Other people have footage. So I was like, oh shit.
I didn't know. Meaning a street type sex worker, or sex worker within that little private shit
the private shit.
Okay, I can see that.
And on some like dominatrix shit.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
They might wear full black leather or some shit like.
Oh, like on kinky type shit. Yeah. She looked like she could. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
She looked like. Bill. With all due respect, you know what I'm saying? She looked like she done been down through there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She's got the vibe, absolutely. Yeah. And she's saying she has footage of her.
That part, I bet she ain't got a goddamn thing. But it's good to keep people on a leash like that. You know what I'm saying? So they keep watching you.
She's on her way up.
But if she had any footage, she probably would have did like that one girl that got Puffy on this shit to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of money to be made. What the fuck you keep telling people on the internet you got footage if you really got some?
Is it Cassie or is that
Cassie? Where the bitch who turned, who showed them Puffy was beating the shit out of her, right? I guess she's the one who leaked it, right?
Got that boy exposed. I doubt it.
No, actually, it came from somebody bigger than that. I tell people, man, Puffy, if he was even close to, as they say, a billionaire, anybody lower than a billionaire can't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be billionaire higher status to take you down. Otherwise, what you do, what you've been doing, I guess, as they say to the people, destroy you. You know what I'm saying? You can't fuck with me. Only one who can take me down is somebody bigger than me. So they talking about Diageo or whatever the liquor people were when he was trying to bring a case on them.
Oh, because
they accused him of racism because they like pushed somebody else's shit to the max and gave him
De Leon, his De Leon brand.
Yeah, they didn't push it like he thought.
But
then they gave somebody else some play over some shit he thought he should have got the same treatment. Some old bullshit like that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he challenged those people, and they was like, "Man, you biting the hand that feeds you," basically. And because when you got something like this saying it was coming out like it is now, man, that shit didn't just start. You know what I'm saying? People know you've been doing that. They've been allowing that on all levels. You know what I'm saying? So the only person who can bring, or the only people who can bring you down is somebody who, is big enough to do that. So, it's got to be behind something. Otherwise, because he's been a good boy. Now, all of a sudden, he's been a bad boy. Yeah. And we talk about people and waste time with the shit. I think it's kind of fucking fun, man.
It is. And fun things, I hear, I don't know facts, but something that the baby oil is such a thing because it's like infused, with some kind of like.
But I heard a guy named, I think his name is Little Scrappy or some shit like, and he's talking about there's something in the baby oil that once they mix it with your drink. Well, if he got 1,000 fucking bottles of baby oil, who's fucking seeing somebody coming at them with a baby or something and putting it in their drink?
Yeah, I don't think it's used for
it's
the
all
drink,
crazy. Yeah, but he said that like he's been at a party. You know, you're hearing all kind of shit. But I'm not drinking no shit that even resembles some baby oil, man. Oh, so man. I don't even get that when he's talking about the shit that they would drink and go into Neverland.
Yeah, he sounds like
that it was in the baby oil. But he was very serious about this shit.
Yeah, if it's in the baby oil, you don't need to drink it, my good man.
But I tell you what. I tell you what.
Yeah.
I heard. I don't know if this guy I sent you the deal was a prosecutor or whatever, but he was just warning that a lot of shit is getting ready to come out, and he was in a very official capacity, and he's talking about banks, pharmacists, and all. He's talking about all kinds of shit, you know. But whoever's in that shit
has to happen to get $1 billion.
Whoever's in that shit, good for them. Good for their ass. They were doing all of that. It's gonna be funny, man. If TD Jakes is one of them, allegedly he is. If he is, man, that's just. I guess people will say it's okay. The devil does get to you sometime, and blah blah blah, and probably still keep going to his church or whatever. But if he's in it, boy, it was just. It's gonna. A lot of people will drop out of his church. You know, just on that strength, and that's gonna be interesting, man. If he's, because he's denying it, you know what I'm saying? And this guy was saying they do have all kinds of tapes and all of that kind of shit. And like you were saying, the CEO is quitting, right? But I was thinking, don't quit yet until they show that they really got something on you. You know what I'm saying? Even if they threaten, hey, yeah, we're gonna wait for this. Before we're gonna wait to see who comes forward first and blah blah. Don't come forward, man. If you're smart, because you're not gonna get nothing less for coming forward. Make them come get you, shit, because they may not have nothing on you. You know what I'm saying? So don't get scared. Believe me, I've been in that situation, not like exactly like that, but a situation where everybody who did something was supposed to come forth. And I'm like, you know what though? This is the truth. We came forth, all of the people, right? And we put our names on a sheet. Then when I thought about the shit and other people thought about it, we was like, damn, some people didn't put their name on the list. Nobody should have put their name on the list. Then I went and secured the list. And man, that was a big thing because everybody said, what happened to the list? Because everybody had signed, that they had, then the list just disappeared. And then they didn't want to go through it because nobody was owning up to it no more. They couldn't find a list. But yeah, don't come forward, man. Make them come get you, man. Shit.
Don't.
Just like if you ever kill somebody. Just like you ever kill somebody or any crime and you want to run, right? Shit, stay out as long as possible. You don't get no time for that. You haven't been convicted of anything, so it's not like you're a criminal yet. A convicted criminal. So they ain't got no charges on you for not turning yourself in and shit. Stay out there for as long as possible. Make them find you. Make them come get you, man.
That's a stressful life right there. Especially
on the run?
If you don't have no moolah.
Yeah. I always thought that, I guess gangs probably do it or whatever. Have stash houses and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Have it like out in the country, and when you go in there, you ain't gonna be moving around a lot, but they're gonna have everything you need there for you. And you just chill for a minute till the heat blows over. Yeah. Because there's so many people on the run. Nowadays, there's so many people on the run, man. And killing a person in America, shit, actually, you probably have a good 50-50 chance at least getting away with it.
50?
I would say, yeah.
A lot of cold cases. Definitely depending on where you are.
Hell of a lot of cold cases.
Plenty. Some cold
I'm gonna get me a shotgun and shoot every whitey I see.
When we all singing that in the 60s?
Shoot every whitey I shoot, every whitey I see. I got that from my man Garrett Morris one time on I think Saturday Night Live. And 60s? That damn show was in those 60s. No, it was like the 80s.
70. Oh dang. Yeah. We got such a young delusion culture. It's crazy.
What are you saying when you say that?
Just that things used to be real racist and it's kind of like smoothing out, or attempting.
It's not smoothing out. That's I don't know. In a way, it's smoothing out. so to speak, but it's not. What's happening is it's not being. What's happening is this. There's certain white people who always would have been down with black people. You know, it's just like if you look at, for instance, the base of Trump. Those type of people still exist, right? I would say probably 90% of those Trump, the base, the conservative base, they don't care nothing about no niggas and Hispanics and shit like that. Then there's some whites that's always been, I don't care about whatever, right? But those white people are considered by the white people to be like not their cream of the crop type. You know, if you would be with a nigga or Hispanic, you're not the cream of the crop unless you happen to be some Jewish guy that's down with somebody like Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? Because of her stature. But you're not going to see him fall in love with Tamika from the hood out of, I love her. You know what I'm saying? And he falls in, it's not going to happen.
It's like what they do. Or like,
their marriages are marriages of convenience. You know what I'm saying? And I want to get to certain places, so I can't get there married to Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? So even when they was having her go, when she was going up for the vice presidency, and it was pretty much that Biden was going to pick a black lady. You know, I did several posts because they had like a dark skinned lady. I forget, she was a judge from somewhere. She had a Tyrone husband. You know what I'm saying? So I immediately, she's not going to get. You know what I'm saying? You never have that. So ultimately, who do they get? Kamala Harris with what? Jewish husband. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a certain type of, you got to fit that, you got to fit the bill. You know what I'm saying? You can't just come up there and, you know, have all this shit going in the White House and shit, man. So it was two of them who had darker, you know, had brothers, Afro type. Baby, you ain't going to be no vice president. You
might be playing some spades on a Friday night.
Spitting watermelon seeds all on the balcony and shit. But no. But you knew that wasn't going to happen, because that's really this stuff that's going on with this racial integration it's really like a facade, man.
Facts.
It's really like a facade, and it's the same
America,
thing.
baby. We grew up off racism. Got where we are off racism.
But I will say though that there are so many, as bruh says with the snow bunnies. There's so many brothers now that got them a snow bunny, man, and have made mulatto kids, man. And everywhere you look, really, you know, there's
some mixed babies out here. I'm in the club, man.
Yeah,
I'm in the club. I'm in the club, Schoolie gang.
Hey,
but, hey,
we love them.
It's old school, new school. It's my brew's getting a little low. Episode 40 and we're gonna take us
41.
chill lag.
What we talk about here, man? Yeah, I gotta talk to you about something when we come back.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we all back, filled to the brim. I'm here.
Back on the scene.
Bro.
Back on the
hit
scene.
Me with a little one of them.
Okay, so it's looking like we going through 2 beers per episode.
Couple brews.
Yeah.
Couple brews per episode. They
kind of get a little mellow.
They crack one with us. The Schoolie gang
a little
crack
mellow.
one with us. They cool with us. They
what kind of beer you drink?
Let us know.
Hey, what we drink is this here. Old school, new school. Did you tell them we have our own brand of beer?
You tell them about them. Tell them about them that. Tell them about them that right now.
Old school, new school. Made in America.
Mm-hmm.
All of the barley, all of the hops, made in America. And then we have a few special ingredients, but not those Diddy type of ingredients, but a few special ingredients just to make you feel a little mellow.
Hey, OG Lee is completely bullshitting. But me, that kind of leads me into a topic I had, man.
Old school, new school.
Old school, new school. And very fitting. The topic I had was like generational wealth, right?
Generational wealth.
Because I sit back.
I don't know him, but yeah.
I look at the big picture, just like we were talking about kind of our country's kind of racist history.
Yeah.
And then I kind of look at the microcosm of even my own family, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just like, as far as wealth, if you would even consider it, just hop and a skip. Like we haven't even really started getting the ball rolling. And of course, other or I'll stop right there. Just we haven't even got the ball quite rolling yet. But some people, I feel like life is happening so much, they might not even get to look at kind of the aspect of kind of like their family and like how things, come about and wealth is built. So I had a thought from the new school, maybe old school at this point. I don't know. But
you mid school now.
I'm mid school,
junior high,
middle
shit,
school,
junior high,
shit like that. But old school, as far as that, right?
Yeah,
trying to build wealth from an old school perspective. What is like a pointer or like an aspect or something to take away, because we got our ears on right now. Maybe some boots.
All right. Let me enumerate.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's simple, man. The first thing that you got to come out of the box with. I'm very serious on this. You got to come out of the box with a habit of living below your means.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people get discouraged at that point because they're like, who wants to live below their means? You got to live below your means for a time. At some point later, you may change your lifestyle and decide to just go total material, right? But that's the first way that you got to start, to learn, live below your means. Then, because most people don't come out of the box with a lot of money. They're usually working or whatever, right? So you have to start thinking that no matter what job you have, no matter how much you make,
mm-hmm.
that your thinking has to be, it's not necessarily how much I make, although I would like to make more, and most people will be able to finish this. It's how much I keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spend below your means, you're going to always be okay, right? Any COVID shit comes up, any crazy black swan type shit happens, you're going to always be all right because you live below your means. And it doesn't make it, for most people that live like that, it doesn't make it seem like they are neglecting themselves. It's just the way I am, right? Mm-hmm. And so usually people like that, they call them frugal. They got all kinds of names. But the bottom line is,
that's one of my favorite.
The bottom line is, you just don't spend more than you make. You know what I'm saying? And so that you don't run a deficit. You always run, to where you're in the positive. So as you do that over time, that keeps adding up. And never, ever, ever underestimate incrementalism. And with money, meaning just that every mickle make a muckle.
Every mickle make a muckle.
So if you understand that, then you realize, and at the same time, your mindset is, as you want to say, be on wealth. If you're talking about, having financial instruments and assets for security, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more you get, the more you're gonna, want. The more momentum you have, as you look at an account, and you got 1,000 in it, and you're saving. Then you look and you got 5,000, the momentum. Oh, wow. Then you're going for 10,000. Then you're going for 15,000,
right.
And then at some point, as you're doing that, at the same time, be thinking about where you want to be. So therefore, you are thinking about investments that you would make if you had 15,000. But when you had 1,000, you were thinking that.
Right.
You get to 15,000, your mind is already, your plan is up. Boom, you're ready to go, right? And you got to always think that you were meant to be wealthy. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily rich, but wealthy. And the thing is, too, for each person, it's different. So you have to firstly define what wealth is for you.
Ooh. All right, let me interject right there. Cause me, even in my young self, I know my generation, sometimes wealth and rich can kind of get misconstrued, if you will. But simply, because my school, I think we kind of like it, kind of black and white. With wealth, could you just accompany the word sacrifice?
Oh man, that goes with the territory. You absolutely have to sacrifice something, and I'm not talking about how I hear, some entertainer said I had to sacrifice my mother and that kind of thing. I'm talking about being willing to sacrifice some things that you would think would be normal. And one particular example would be you looking at your neighbor and you say, oh, wow, he's got a brand new car. It's a good chance that he didn't go buy that car with cash, right? Mm-hmm. So what does he got to do? Go to the bank, that bad boy. Right? And the financing comes with interest, right? Then, of course, there's a mandatory thing that they're going to make you carry insurance, right? So there's another expense on that car.
And if you don't,
right?
Like CPI.
Yeah. Now, you might been the neighbor across the street that said, hey, you know what? I've saved up $5,000. I've saved up $7,000. My boy over here showed me where it was a nice car, nice solid car. I'm going to go get that, pay cash, and let that be the end of it. Matter of fact, I think I'm a good driver, so I'm not even going to carry collision. All I'm going to do is carry liability in case I happen to hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now, every week or however often you get paid, there's nothing that you have. And this is the way it keeps going, because you get then you buy the this, the that, all these things that start having interest rate because of credit cards, right? But you, the person who went to buy that car, see, you don't have nothing tied to you to where this, every week you're with something, right? And do all of your purchases like that to where you cash and carry. No matter how much of the people you see doing all of the credit and all of that, you keep your shit up with cash and carry, save, and invest. And as long as you live your life like that, you'll never be behind the 8 ball.
Now, let me say this, right? Because those are wise words. But as new school, I got to tell you, bro, it's getting to a point right now where the cash and carry is damn near impossible unless you one of them ones with a crazy great employment.
No, it's not. It's nowhere near impossible.
I'm saying it's not
not for a working person. See, this is the problem that we have in America.
Yeah,
there's this thing called a television.
Right.
Started with the TV. Now it's the internet and all that. And what that does is programs people.
Oh, let me bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this with just one. If you're going for a source of income, one job, I should say.
I even say less. I even still say what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I got you.
Sure, and I appreciate what you're saying, because that's what a lot of people feel and deal with, and it applies whether it's one or two incomes. And the deal is, in America, what you're dealing with being programmed, and that's not saying anything negative. Every different people are programmed depending on what side of the track you live on, what country or whatever. So we think in America, for some reason, that when you start off, you automatically supposed to be at some level where you like moving and shaking shit, right? So the thing is, you get a person and they make a certain amount of money, right? That's the way you're supposed to live, because everything you put forward is in what you bring home in your paycheck, or however you get out and hustle and do whatever, right? Yes, so you got some people, and in this country, they do it like that. They treat people bad when, like, for instance, if you live in a trailer, your trailer will be a lot more fucked up than the apartment, and then the apartment is usually a lot more fucked up than if you rent a house, right? But if you only make a certain amount and you look and you say, God damn, this mortgage I got, it's really killing me. That means you're supposed to be living in a trailer. But for some reason, you think you're too big for a trailer, but your money is not enough to be living in where you live in if you're having trouble. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem that people have. They're looking at maybe these people, and they show you this, somebody's cribs or some shit like MTV crib. I don't know, whatever. Is it MTV? All this different type of shit where they showing you people living high on a hog. But again, it's people living beyond their means. If you look, and a lot of people look at that, they say, oh shit, I'm really hurting with this mortgage. Well, honey, I don't know what we're gonna do. Well, what you're gonna do is move what you can fucking afford. Yeah, it's not gonna look right when your friends pull up in front of your shit. But then you gotta sit down with your friends, if they're your friends, and say, hey, this is how we living. And that's the problem Americans have. Now, once you get used to living in a trailer, if you really don't want to live in that trailer, then you will stop all of that bullshit spending and start saving that shit and be able to move out of the trailer. That's how America used to work. Now motherfuckers think they supposed to start at the top of something. Start where you are. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to be somebody you're not. And that's what the big problem that people have.
Your budget.
Shit, I see people in these houses, and they're going to start losing them. I guarantee you over this next 6 months to a year. But the thing is, the reason they're going to start losing their houses again is because they bit off more than they could chew, trying to, from the outside, make somebody think that they live in, bigger than they are. And you got to stop that shit. Be yourself when it comes to your money. Don't be ashamed of that shit. If you a lazy motherfucker and ain't making no money, that's where you're supposed to be living, in a trailer park. But this is the thing. I'm not down in trailer parks. Keep your trailer park nice. Keep your fucking trailer clean and all of that. That's how it used to be and still is. Go to Arizona and they charging the motherfuckers $250,000 and more for just these same trailers you see over here. But they in a little part of, I guess what they say is a good part of town, but it's nothing but a trailer. They keep the shit nice, got flowers growing up, you know what I'm saying? And people buy and sell that shit for $250,000 out there.
Absolutely.
So it ain't like your trailer's got to be messed up. It's just that a trailer is less expensive than a home if you want to live that way. Or you can go in an apartment. Yeah, you can go to an apartment. Some apartments are real nice, got balconies, blah, blah, blah. And some apartments are just gut level. And if that's what you could afford, and people hanging outside in that breezeway, smoking and shit like that, that's just like the project. You come in, you got to use the elevator. It smells like piss and shit like whatever, right? That's how you living. If you want to live better, you go somehow, you earn more like you do in America, and you got to have the money to live better. So if you want to do that, you get off your ass, you start thinking and doing what you want. Otherwise, live within your means, which is whatever it is. Live with your goddamn mama. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes.
Get it right.
But don't blame people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got, and that's especially, you got two incomes, right? Let's say you went and you live within your means on the one income, and y'all said, like a lot of, I've seen these foreigners do. If my wife's got to go out there and work, let's just have hers just saving, and the other one be the breadwinner or whatever. But somehow decide what you're going to do. And the thing is, most important is to plan, and it sounds crazy, but plan from 5 to 10 years out. You know what I'm saying? This way you got a goal that you constantly, you know what I'm saying, you're looking forward to, right? And stay on it. Stay on it. And again, this is America, as I always say, one of the best countries, even though it's fucked up in so many ways. But it's a good place to get ahead in terms of capital, because you're dealing with the utmost capitalism in this country. So that's what I would say.
The utmost.
And please, with two incomes, somehow it's really living beyond your means. If you got two incomes and you're still not making it, because that means that, as you say, the whole sort of the topic, building wealth. And as we say, if you're going to do that, get that from your employer. Keep saying that too, right? The 401k or whatever, because they're giving you some that once you vested, that's yours. You know what I'm saying? So do that as far as that building wealth, because building wealth, getting rich is like a lottery. You know what I'm saying? Building wealth is step by step by step like that, and doing strategic things to keep the money away from people who don't need to have your money.
Which I was going to say, kind of maybe ending this topic, but what's some specific steps, right? Like I said, my school, we want some black and white, bada boom, bada bang. And I'll lead with, I know as far as post-mortem and things like trust and wills are definitely a thing that our culture sleeps on. That definitely has to be implemented in order for you to kind of retain some of your wealth. But what you got, OG Lee? What's some real specific steps?
Our culture doesn't sleep on that. The people in our culture who know, they doing all of that. They know they can't change the world. The people who have the assets and want to protect them, they'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Just out of having to do it. Or either have it where the properties are in the name of whoever. So
probate
you could avoid that. But the most specific thing that I say again, is just get in the habit of living below your means, and get in the habit of every paycheck, even if it's fucking $5, save that, because that is still a habit. I didn't say the habit had to be saving $5,000. The habit has to be living below your means and saving something, because you can't look at anything at the end of the day and say, I worked and it's not for you. Certainly, if you got no money damn near at the end of the year, it's not that you was working because you love that. You work because you had to, right? Yeah. So at the end of the day, and literally the end of the year, be able to say, okay, these people paid me $65,000. Shit, it's tight. I only kept $2,500, which would amount to $200 a month, right? Or $50 a week, right? Because you got to be thinking about yourself. You paid all your utility people, you paid your insurance people, you paid all those people. Everybody. So you had to give yourself something. I mean, really, don't you think something of yourself? You know what I'm saying? And then we can end on this if we're there. Mm-hmm. The main thing is you gotta be a gambler in some respects. Some people in some instances call it an investor, right? But you gotta be somebody who's willing to take a risk, even if it starts with you saving $200. Start taking some risks to get into something that could potentially be more down the line. Otherwise, if you don't, you already know once you get down the line, you got nothing coming. You know what I'm saying? And more than anything, remember, man,
calculated risk.
Conversation rules the nation. Mm-hmm. Any deal can be made with anybody if you got conversation, man. You got creativity, ingenuity, and conversation. I've seen people make deals and not have any money. Conversation. So yeah.
Yes.
Keep thinking about it.
Kind of on that topic, let's spin off it. Have you seen Bronny in the LeBron kind of, media day popped off?
I didn't see the media day.
Or I didn't see the media day, but I was saying I know in the NBA it was media day. I saw a couple people's.
I saw yesterday the headline where somebody was, and it was a former player, but they was messing with LeBron. Or the little one, Bronny, or whatever, the younger one, because he was saying that he made it to the NBA on his own accord. It didn't have nothing to do with who his dad was. And whoever the guy, it might have been Gilbert Arenas, I'm not sure, but somebody like that does one of those podcasts, they was just laughing. I'm like, I don't think so. If your name wasn't James, you wouldn't be nowhere. You'd probably be buying some seats or something in there. But yeah, it's very competitive game, man. I just don't know why we don't have a black league that is like at least close to the NBA, because you got a lot of people who they are so good they could be the NBA. You know how many players get cut that they just right there, So it seems like those players wouldn't have to go overseas. They could do something because a lot of them tend to be African American. I wonder if that's one of those things where billionaires keep people, from doing that by threatening to kill them and shit.
We'll get rid of you and everybody. But bro, come on, you bring your son on like it's a job for real, like he at FedEx or something.
LeBron
bought his son into the NBA, bro.
Hey, LeBron, I shout out to you,
which
bro.
He has
I shout out to you, brother. Man, I was talking to my man the other day that I grew up with, and he's an electrician. And he was telling me about how hard he's trying to get his son in the union in New York. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get in the union, boom, you got your good little spot, right? And shit, that's just the way it is, man. I do shit for my kids, man. And bottom line, your kids never stop being your kids. I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? So I don't blame you, LeBron. If you can get your son in and y'all ain't doing no illegal shit and all that, bro, that's kudos to you. Kudos to you for raising your sons and shit like that and being to the point where you're such a good father that your son is following in exactly what you're doing. And what man does not want that for his son?
Following the blueprint.
And I don't see that many white, retired players that their son comes in the league as a hell of a player. I mean, I'm sure there's been one or two, but I've seen that with several brothers. Like, who's the light-skinned dude? He be on the podcast too. He used to be out west on Denver.
Isaiah Thomas?
No, light-skinned dude. Like light-skinned dude really explains it, right? But
still
Keenan.
Basketball.
Yeah, he starts with a Keenan, Allen K or something like
Kenyon
that.
Martin.
Right, his son is in now, right? Yeah, so several of them, man. I'm like, oh shit, your son. So you had to be a good father. You know what I'm saying? In terms of
it's crazy how different
molding your son, though. You know what I'm saying? Keeping them in that, and Gary Payton. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of how many white dudes that came out the league. Their sons. I don't see them in the league. You know what I'm saying? So it's got to be more than athleticism. You know what I'm saying? In terms of molding because a lot of NBA players don't have sons, right? So the ones that do, it's got to be real, intense. They got to be, good role models and shit, man. So I got to give that to LeBron, and we don't do that enough with the brothers. You know what I'm saying? We always talking about them and shit, but you got to give them man.
He's fired for that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But you saying you're
and kept it together with his marriage and shit. That's one of the hardest things. Because I heard one NBA dude, right? He was like, man, when I finally got out of playing ball, that's when me and my wife really, started dealing with each other. And then he said, we got a divorce. He said, because I was always on the road. I come home. Shit is great when I just pop in, been popping in, pop out, popping in. He said, but once I was there and, really got to know my wife, it's like, man, we ain't even, compatible. And they got a damn divorce, man. Yeah.
Man.
But I could see that happening for somebody like that, always in and out. Plus, when he's in and when he's out, he's getting them some, from some nookie other, you know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden I gotta stay here. I'm not going. I'm not getting no strange and shit. So ended up getting a divorce. How that goes. But so yeah, shout outs to people like LeBron, man. Yeah.
Big shout out.
I would say one of the GOATs, yeah. And that's for another conversation. Not but one of the GOATs, yeah.
MJ's the GOAT?
You know what though? I like Michael Jordan, but I never just was on Michael Jordan's dick and shit, man.
Pause, bro.
I'm serious. And I mean, some people are so they too on Michael Jordan's dick, but he was a great player, and I say one of the GOATs. Yeah.
One of them.
I would give, it's him. It's that's another. We deal with that again. But yeah, LeBron is my man. I think he's really developed in all ways. So I'm on LeBron's dick. If you want to say that, I'll say it. But but I'm not saying that I'm on his dick. I would be saying that. Look,
Lee crossing over, man.
I'm just would be saying that as a black man, we should be more willing than we do to say like, yo, this brother, he's, give him some praise and shit, man. Because he's done all of this shit right, man. You know what I'm saying? He's done everything right, man. You got to give him motherfucker his kudos for that, man.
Oh, yeah. man.
And the thing is, the life that he's living is so fucking tempting, man. Yeah. That's why you gotta give brother. I mean, for real, man. He could have been on dope and shit like that. He could have been with all kind of women, all kind of things. He got all this money, but he been holding it together, man. Mm-hmm. Now, LeBron, I hope you don't be on that motherfucking Diddy list and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I hope he ain't on the Diddy list. After I'm talking, highly for the brother. Bro. Yeah, that would be some shit. But I don't think he is, man.
That would be almost a nightmare, actually, bro. Yeah. And speaking of nightmare,
especially if they could prove it, not just be slinging names.
Speaking of nightmare, bro, if A Green behind the scene could pull this up, man.
Oh, you did the word of the day?
The word? Oh, I didn't do the word of the day. The word of the day today, bro. Oh, come on.
You forgot what you said?
I didn't forget what I said. But don't get me off my square, OG. Hold up, bro. Okay. It was a nightmare that I had. A Green behind the scene. Pulling me up. You just made me think about
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Being in Diddy footage.
You saw that movie, Nightmare on Elm Street? I didn't either, but I remember the title.
I'm really not a scary movie type of guy.
That was that who's that crazy?
I really don't even watch scary movies. Like I watch some scary movies.
I don't either. In my past. Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember that though. Freddy Krueger, I think it was some shit.
I've just recently started watching kind of like scary movies. In like the last year or two.
I most of that shit don't scare me when I watch it though.
But me, it's not scary, but it's like putting that weird shit inside of my mind.
Yeah. But you know what's weird about that? When I watch most TV, I interpret it like I'm sitting there going, man, they're just acting. These are people, you know what I'm saying? On some things, I'm like, this is not real.
You watch normal TV though, man.
Yeah,
just
regular.
Watch like some.
Man, I don't like watching shit that's not real because it's like I'm sitting here and it puts you through different emotions sometime and all this, and you're like, this is not real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't want that bullshit like that.
I respect it, but check me out right here, bro. Speaking of nightmares, right? Imagine.
Oh my goodness, what the hell is that?
Imagine.
Is that a stripper pole?
Yeah, let's say it's a stripper.
Oh shit.
Jesus. That even makes my skin crawl like that.
Yo.
I don't know what country we in, bro. Oh my God. Is that 3 different snakes, bro? And they could probably hear.
But wait a minute.
How they were ready for the
that
break,
right there is nowhere in America now.
Absolutely not. Look at that.
Although it could be.
Other than Florida.
Oh, man. What the hell is that?
That's 3 different snakes, I feel like, bro.
Now you see some people that'll be telling you, oh, don't worry about that. Don't kill that. That's a such and such a snake. That's the ones that kill the dangerous snakes and shit. I don't be knowing the difference between none of them, man.
That's a constrictor of some kind that can eat you, bro.
Even if it wasn't one called, the constrictor, as big and long as that motherfucker is, he could constrict you nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? Even if he was considering himself being friendly.
Grip you up real quick. Could you imagine?
Damn. That's in the baby girl's room and shit.
Could you imagine getting wrapped up by that thing?
What would you do, man?
At a point, it's nothing you would be able to do if you don't like get him off properly real quick. Your damn arm will be above your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tell you the thing that I've always thought to do to snakes if I seen them, especially like in my backyard, I would just go get the lighter fluid, man. That's what I've always thought to do. Just go get the lighter fluid and just put the lighter fluid on them. And because I haven't met one creature yet that can withstand fire. Haven't met one creature yet.
Snake is not gonna stick around for you to put lighter fluid on,
bruh. But then I'm good. If he goes his way, that's what I really want. I really don't want to burn you and shit. But if you stay where it is, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put.
Some snakes can be aggressive though. That's like one of my biggest fears. Like you saying, I'm approaching him like, and then he's like, you know what I mean?
Well, I've got
at me even.
I've got the lighter fluid, right? And that's why I even specifically said lighter fluid, because you know how lighter fluid comes out, right? I can squeeze it from a little distance, and then I'm gonna just throw the match.
Movie something.
But this is I did that one time. I forget what I think I did it to I did it to some kind of reptile and shit. And I'm telling you, he got his ass on. And once he got his ass on, I wasn't messed up about him because that's what I wanted him to do.
Like a fucking movie scene.
And shit. Just like when I be burning shit out in the back, man, it be mice and shit all back there. I burn all of that shit, man. If they don't move their ass, they get burnt, man. But yeah, man. So what we got to do this word of the day.
We gotta do
you wanna be free. We's free.
We's free.
Thank God Almighty. We's free. In Jesus' name.
And this that right there cues that good old mind crusher.
A mind crusher.
A mind crusher.
I hope this is a good one, man.
But this mind crusher is titled
Greg. Man, we did this one before, man.
We did this one?
Is this about some fucking robot or he's a monkey, he got shaved and shit like that? He named himself Greg? Come on, man.
I gotta switch.
Come on. This is 41, man. Is it 41 or 41?
All right, let's pull it
Damn. They calling you Rerun now, man. Rerun. Yeah, Greg was about that monkey. That bald head monkey. They thought they thought he was a man. Even gave him a job.
Tell
gave him a job, and he punched the shit out
bro.
The boss and shit. That's what he did, right?
No.
Yeah.
Should I read it?
No, read the new one.
The new one?
Because the Greg one is something like that. I mean,
and this is just fresh
about the monkey.
I didn't pre-screen this one per usual. Field of Creams.
Field of Creams?
Field of Creams.
I already know where I'm going with it, but go ahead.
It's a field. It's got creams in it. Foot creams. Sex creams.
So I knew these white people was going to do this.
Ice creams. All the world's favorite creams. Kevin Costner owns it. He's waiting for somebody. Who is he waiting for? What other creams do you think he's got in that field?
What other creams does Kevin have in the field?
Yeah, he owns it. He owns it, baby.
Creams. I don't know, man. You said he's got sex creams.
Ice cream.
He's got ice creams.
And I think what's
and he's got Jack off cream.
Foot creams.
Foot
creams
creams.
as well. What other creams he got in that bad boy?
Man, I don't damn.
He probably got some cream of corn.
That's what I was getting ready to say. But I was like, how fucking stupid is that? But yeah, man, I don't know. And who is he? He's waiting for somebody.
Yeah.
Who did Kevin Cox? He was with Whitney Houston in one movie, wasn't he?
Perhaps.
Yeah, that movie.
Kevin Cox. Oh
her music was a part of the soundtrack too, I think. But she was. As a matter of fact, she fell in love with his ass because it seemed like I remember her kissing that white man.
Giving a smooch. What movie?
I mean, busting off and shit. I think.
Oh damn!
It was in the movie. She fell in love with him. Bodyguard or some shit like that.
That was the name of it?
He was her bodyguard or some type of shit. Anyway, motherfuckers know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so maybe he's waiting for Whitney and some Bobby cream. I don't know.
Some Bobby cream.
Cream. That's stupid, man. Throw that shit. Burn. Get rid of them goddamn cards, man. And you got a whole deck of them. How did you get a single? How'd you get a rerun when you got a whole stack?
That's what I
like
think.
That, man?
And really, I check them through. I'm like, we've done this. Mm. It's a crazy one,
I know I'm burnt out. I don't know what your excuse is.
Yeah, I'm just a chip off the old block is my excuse.
A young burnout. Yeah.
A chip off the old
just
block.
Like a robe. You know the chip off the old block? That was a song. You didn't know that?
By who?
I think three girls that was a family. We are fans. Sister Sledge, I think. Chip off the old block. Just like a robot. I'm serious. He'll do for you what he's programmed to. Some shit like that. Yeah. Hey. That's some real shit. Motherfuckers will tell you that's some real shit.
I almost fell off the wagon, bro. OG like to do this to me. I almost signed this out, bro, but I cannot sign out without giving the school.
You didn't do the word of the day, nigga.
A word
of the day.
Man.
Word of the day.
And
word of the day.
The word of today, as I leave the schoolie gang with a little tidbit and all this nonsense we've been talking about. Little jewels here and there too. But when we were thinking of talking of the generational wealth, this was kind of really in mind. I almost skipped it. I'm glad OG Lee reminded me. But materialize, just simply defined, is to become actual fact, or to happen, or you can materialize. Sometimes they say like apparitions, ghosts, kind of appear in a bodily form. You know, so materialize maybe like after.
You know how niggas be defining materialize?
How so?
Yeah, nigga, I believe it when I see it. That's materializing for your ass. I believe
it when it materializes.
I believe it when I see it. That's materializing, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to fruition.
Absolutely. Just like we were talking about that generational wealth.
You know you got a lot of people that talk shit and that shit never happens.
That generational wealth, man, you got to set a plan and see it like OG Lee saying, come to fruition, man, schoolie gang.
Hey, generational wealth starts with a mindset. You know what I'm saying? And first you got to love your babies enough. And at that point, you want what's best for them.
Sacrifice.
And generational wealth becomes a natural step.
Give me another one, man. Hey, it's old school, new school. UNE. OG Lee. Episode 41.
40.
Schoolie game, if you cool with me, come school with me. OG Lee, UNDE. Best father-son podcast in America, man.
We out.